One of the best pieces of advice and guidance that I received somewhere along my journey of self-realization and living life more consciously alive was to be more interested in the stillness within which all activity comes and goes than with the activity that is coming and going. To be slightly more interested, like 51%, just slightly more interested in the fabric of reality, which is peace, stillness, consciousness. Slightly more interested in that than in all the activity that is arising and falling, coming and going, and is born and dies within that fabric of stillness, of consciousness, of peace. Be slightly more interested in the essential, unwavering peace of being than with all the activity that arises within that peace of being or that consciousness of being. It's a practice. You can practice it anytime. You can look around the world you're in right now, notice objects, sounds, smells, the things you see, the things you hear, even the things you think about. And we get so typically locked in to the content of experience, the sights, the sounds, the feelings, the thoughts, that consumes 100% of our awareness, and we're not aware of the awareness itself. Just ask yourself in any moment, within what is all of this activity happening? Within a stillness, within a silence, within a peace of consciousness. Be slightly more interested in the presence of the consciousness than you are with all the activities that arise and pass within that consciousness. It's a simple practice that's nuanced, but as you practice it more, you're awakening. Every single time you ask yourself that question, wait, what is the fabric of reality, the unwavering presence of consciousness within which all of this is appearing and disappearing, coming and going, arising and passing? And in that you awaken. In that moment, in that inquiry, you awaken to the presence of consciousness that you are. And you realize it is so ubiquitous. It's just there. Always. Always. It doesn't come and go. The activities come and go. The activities to which we are typically 100% attentive to, consumed by, distracted by. All the movement of life is ever changing, coming and going. Within what? Within awareness. There's never been anything you've ever experienced that has been experienced outside of the presence of awareness. And part of the value of this is so that when, let's say, problems or challenges or difficulties arise, if we train ourselves to be slightly more interested in the peace of being within which that temporary situation, condition, event, moment is arising, we don't get so lost in the content of the challenge. We don't get lost in the anxious mind that is activated around that trigger, around that challenge. We don't collapse into and get so lost in the difficulty that we forget that it is happening, it is occurring. It is a temporary movement of life within the grace of consciousness. So, the invitation is on a regular basis to practice stopping. Just look about your world and notice all the activity of life, the things you see, the things you smell, the things you hear, the things you taste. Notice all the activity of life, all the form of life. And then in that moment, say, but all of this form is happening, coming and going, appearing and disappearing within the formless grace of loving awareness, of consciousness. And what would it feel like if you were just slightly more interested in and abiding the presence of the formless consciousness than with all the movement within that consciousness? You would awaken. You would be awakening into the presence of stillness that is ever present. You would be awakening to the consciousness that you are, as the consciousness that you are, which is ever present and unwavering, within which your mind is narrating all the experiences that are happening. Your mind is narrating what it thinks and feels and has opinions and judgments and beliefs and thoughts about everything that is happening. And all of that is happening within the fabric of consciousness, within the unwavering presence of awareness. So, that's the invitation, is to practice being slightly more interested in the unwavering stillness of consciousness, slightly more interested in that than you are with all the compelling and distracting activity of life. We don't ignore the activity of life. We simply be slightly more interested in the unwavering grace of being, of consciousness, of peace, within which all that activity of life is coming and going, arising and passing, appearing and disappearing. Typically, we are 100% consumed with the activity of life, what we call the content of experience, and we are typically completely unaware of the grace of being within which all of that experience is coming and going. All right, my friends, blessings. Be well.